How's everybody doing? First, I'd just like to say thank you all for being here. What an unbelievable opportunity I have. I'm humbled and excited about the opportunity to be the special teams coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings. Very thankful for Kevin and Quasi and their belief in me and what I have to offer to bring W's here to Minnesota. And coming from a place like Dallas, where football is at the highest of the high, state-of-the-art facilities. Coming here in Minnesota, I see no drop-off from the facility to the staff, the organization, what they have to offer, the personnel. We're right there. We're right there competing with those type of organization. I'm excited about it. I can't say enough. When I first talked with Kevin, he mentioned that it's easy for me to make the decision to hire a guy with experience. But that's not what I'm after. I'm after a guy, the up-and-coming guy. And, it's easy for me to just go find a guy with experience, but that's not what I'm looking for. And for him to have that belief in me, him to have that trust in me says a lot. I can't thank him enough for it. Coming from Jon Bones Fossil Special Teams University, being able to play for Bones for 3 years and work with him collaboratively for 4 has really propelled me and truly given me the opportunity to be in this position that I'm in. I can't say enough about what Bones has done for me in my career, what he has taught me, the process that has gone through in order for me to get here. He truly is the reason to why I'm here and why I have so much confidence in my ability to truly have an impact on the special teams unit this year. And, you look at it, I'm excited about getting my hands on these players. I think we have a great group of guys. Just looking at what they did last year, a high-energy group. You can see them out there, a well-connected group. And, I'm going to come in, and my responsibility is to put these guys in the best position to make plays. And we're going to be a team that's going to have a simple approach, but an aggressive mindset, and we're always going to be on the attack, and that's how we're just going to approach it. Look at it last year in Dallas, we blocked 4 punts, returned a kick for touchdown, and the group of guys was a well-connected group. We worked collaboratively, and we just created a mindset that we're always on the attack. And that's what I'm looking to build here within my units, as my job is to teach, demand, and develop. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. My teaching methods is all about the why. I encourage my players to why. Why are we working these techniques? Why are we working these fundamentals? Because I truly believe that's how you get guys to truly believe in what you're doing. And once they do believe, then they buy into it. And so once we're able to work on the teachings of it, the whys, then I'm going to demand the utmost out of them, from the practice field, from the classroom to the practice field, and onto game day. Everything that we're going to do is going to be at a high level. It's going to be intense. We're going to compete in the classroom, on the practice field, as well as on game day. I'm a big guy that's all about competition. And at the end of the day, it's my job to develop these players from week 1 to week 17 and to the playoffs, however deep we go. Obviously the goal is going to be to hold the Lombardi Trophy. But through those weeks, you're going to see a unit that's going to continue to develop, is going to grow, and they're going to stay well connected throughout of it. And, with that, open up the questions.
Coach, how did your time as a player influence your approach to special teams or your perspective of special teams?
Oh, for sure. So, everybody always looks at, let's be honest, this is an all-star league that we're in, and special teams is the red-headed stepchild, the middle child of it, if you want to say, right? And so for me, being an undrafted guy coming into this league out of Duke University, special teams was the only way that I saw myself being able to make the team. And so I like to consider myself a special teams demon. It's kind of what I was. I took it to heart. I took a lot of pride in it. I played with a lot of passion, and that's what you'll see kind of pour into my players. I'm very personable, very relatable. Guys can lean on me because, I've done it before. I've been in their shoes. I know what it looks like. I know what it takes. And, working with Bones for the past 4 years collaboratively, we know what it looks like to put out a well-connected team that is going to go out there on the field and play for one another. And, I think at the end of the day, the biggest thing when it comes to special teams is chemistry. chemistry. Within our schemes, there's a lot of communication, which is very intentional because you want to get those guys talking. You want them to get to know one another because that's kind of important. That's the importance, of it all right there, just kind of building that well-connected team that has a lot of chemistry to it.
Matt, did you ever see yourself coaching special teams? You talk about that way into the league, but
Yeah, absolutely. Enter into the league in 2012, my rookie year. I kind of always had it in the background of my thoughts that I wanted to be a special teams guy, that I wanted to be a special teams coach. And so, I would go up to Bones' office, every other day, bugging him. Just trying to get in it, picking his brain left and right, just about his process, how he goes about his planning, what is he looking for, how do I study tape, how do I watch tape, and so kind of, I always had the idea in my mind in my start of my rookie career that this is something that I always wanted to do.
Is there any one thing specifically, like a light bulb thing that Bones taught you that you're like, whoa, I didn't know that?
Yeah, oh, definitely. I'm not so sure that I could comment on that publicly because that's kind of the secret sauce, to be honest with you. So I might have to kind of not reveal that one. Sorry.
Wherever Fossil seems to have coached, there's been a ton of production across special teams, but especially at returner. I mean, Tavon Austin, Farrell Cooper, JoJo Natson, CeeDee Lamb. It seems like wherever he goes, there's a really good, productive return game. What is the key to that?
I think the biggest thing is building confidence in those guys and going to them and communicate them. The biggest thing for us is that we're always kind of how Wes and Ed Donatel mentioned is we're looking for ideas from the players because they're the ones that's doing it. And so for me, I think the biggest thing is truly talking with those returners and asking them, what their strengths and weaknesses are. Obviously, we watch the tape, we know and have an idea of what it is. And so we always like to go to returners and ask them, what is it that you like? You like running left, you like running right, you like cutting off your right foot. Are you a vertical guy? Are you a sideline guy? And so we kind of find a way schematically to scheme things towards their strengths. And that's kind of how we see success. But I think, honestly, when you got a well-connected team and you got chemistry back there, it's the blockers. The blockers have a belief in the returner. I think that's the biggest thing, honestly.
What's your philosophy on handling kickers and their psyches?
For sure. So, you look at a guy like Greg Joseph, for instance, who struggled in his first couple of years kind of bouncing around. And you talk about the mental toughness that he's shown and the progression that he has had in his career to where he is at now. The mental toughness aspect of the kicking game is obviously the biggest thing from a kicker because obviously it's lonely as hell out there, if we're just being honest. And so you look at the mental toughness, the mental capacity to able to handle the pressure. Those are the type of conversations that we like to have. You really don't want to give too many thoughts to your kicker or have him thinking too much. And so we kind of always try to allow him to have a quieted mind, a stillness, a poise is kind of the biggest thing that we kind of like to take away from our kickers. Just kind of give them the ability to understand what their process is. We always, the biggest thing for us is trying to truly understand and make sure they have a process and a routine that they like to go through before their kicks. I think that's the biggest thing is, what are you telling yourself? Are you talking to yourself? Is there anything specific that you're saying to help yourself? Is there one thing, okay, let me make sure my plant foot. All right, I'm hitting my plant foot 2 steps from the ball. All right, following through. Just kind of those routines and mechanisms to kind of help them out just in terms of preparing mentally for, the poise and whatever might happen.
When you were scouting special team candidates last year in the draft, what was your impression of Kene Wangu and how did he stick out to you when you were going through the draft process last year?
Yeah, absolutely. You look at a guy like Kene Wangu, who was probably one of the first people that I called when I got here. Extremely excited about him, what he has to offer as a returner. I see him as being an elite returner in this league, a guy who's very dangerous with the football. He's a one-cut runner, high cut. He's got the home run speed. He's got the ability to break tackles tackles. He has great feet, being able to get in and out of cuts. You see the explosion, you see the ball security, but most importantly, you see the decision making that he has back there. And there's just a trust and there's a confidence that he has when the ball is in his hands. Kene coming out last year, I thought he had a hell of a heck of a kick return a year back there, and you can kind of see where his game is going, and I'm excited about it. I talked with him, wanted to see just an idea of what he likes to do. Is he a sideline guy? Is he a bounce returner? Does he like to hit it vertically up the chute? And so those are the type of conversations that we like to have. But just scouting him last year, I had him very high on my list just in terms of his capability, what he's able to do.
You say you're always looking for ideas from players and, this whole collaborative thing. Is there an art, or how difficult is it when maybe the idea is a bad idea, or it's not going to work out?
Oh,
how do you
absolutely.
communicate that to a guy?
Absolutely. So there's always going to be a decision making process that goes through that, right? And so maybe a player offers an idea to us that we might not be so keen on, but maybe there's a way to build off of that idea. Like, so let's say, hey, coach, maybe we want to working field returns here, but finding a way to let's find a way to use a returner set to get it to the field. So you might have a guy that might not have the big speed, right, that has the ability to get to the field. Well, let's talk about maybe setting up returns where we're setting it to the boundary to get an overflow of cover going, and that way we're not trying to go from numbers to numbers with it, rather than we're going from numbers to the hash, the opposite hash type. And so, we kind of work at the inner works of that to really try to figure out what's the best way to go about it. But it's never just hey, scratch that, that's a bad idea. I always try to find a way to see the light in a little bit of the ideas.
Find a way to say no.
Yeah.
In today's world.
Yeah, nice way to say no, but maybe so.
Now, with all that said, you've got great athletes and decision making. So is situational awareness perhaps the toughest thing to coach these guys in?
Yeah, absolutely. And we're big. We like to talk about situational masters. Truly understanding the game, the rules of the game. Most importantly, the opponent who we up against. I mean, at the end of the day, football is a matchup basis, especially from a special team standpoint. Out there is one-on-one matchups, so we talk a lot about matchups, who you're up against, understanding truly who your opponent is, what his weaknesses are, how can we attack them. And for me, I'm big on my players less thinking, more reacting. At the end of the day, we're going to react to anything and everything that might come at us, and we're going to have a true and full understanding of what that looks like and how we're going to be able to attack them.
Hey Matt, I know you have free agency coming up here, but do you see Jordan Berry and Greg Joseph back on this team next year?
Yeah, I do. It's too early to say right now. We're going through the evaluation process. You look at a guy like Jordan Berry, who's been doing it for a long time. He's got a lot of leg talent. He's had a lot of success in his career. Greg Joseph as well. And so, it's a little too early for us to really say what that's going to look like. But I think they've done a lot in their career to say that they deserve to be on this team, yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Matt.
Appreciate y'all.